probably the biggest mistakes that I've made along the way, having the wishful thinking that somehow, you're going to bring somebody in and they're going to solve your problems. At the end of the day, you really need to get your hands dirty, go out there yourself, and then figure it out. And that's part of the journey. So. Hi, my name is Rae, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of Maneva. At Maneva, we're developing video to action AI platform for heavy-duty manufacturers to help out with quality, labor, downtime, and safety in delivering mission-critical manufacturing platform. So I'm originally from South Korea, and I grew up in a small industrial town in Alberta, Canada. So I actually grew up like welding out in the cold Canadian winter, listening to country music, fixing semi-trucks for a living. I went to like a trades high school when I was going through that time. So I got to work with my hands a lot. Afterwards, I went to University of Waterloo, studied engineering there. And then after that, I got a really great opportunity to work at an organization called Google DeepMind, where I mostly focused on real-world AI research. It was very evident that AI is going to be this big paradigm shift in a lifetime. I was in a very fortunate position where I was, part of this few hundred people who really got to experience that hands-on. And I thought about what it would be like for me to bring that technology to some of the industries that I grew up around, right? Manufacturing, blue-collar side of things. And I thought that could be a really, really impactful and a fulfilling journey. So we started Maneva with that kind of vision together with my co-founder, who was my university friend back then. And we really just started with a very simple vision of thinking, what if you were to take video AI from something like a self-driving car, but then give that to manufacturers and factories? What would they do with it, right? So today we basically have what we call video to action AI that's helping with everything from quality, labor, downtime, and safety. But it started with a very simple vision of taking this very general video AI technology that understands the real world, but giving that to the people who, run the world today and help us get the abundance that we enjoy today. So yeah, this is my first company, and I've never tried to start a company, and I haven't really done anything that's entrepreneurial in my past. And coming from a background of doing pure AI research, I was just writing papers all the time, to transitioning to the business world was very different. For me, that was probably the biggest challenge in the beginning. And just understanding how the business world works, how the venture world works, and all these things, and understanding the incentives of everybody that's at play, but also giving myself a little bit more confidence in that I can actually go out and figure out how to do sales, how to do marketing, how to do all these other functions that wasn't necessarily within my realm of expertise. And I think probably the biggest mistakes that I've made along the way that I'm always conscious of trying to not make again is just not having the wishful thinking that somehow you're going to bring somebody in and they're going to solve your problems. At the end of the day, you really need to get your hands dirty, go out there yourself, and then figure it out. And that's part of the journey. So Canada has such a huge talent in terms of, at least for AI, other technical talent, other business talent as well, especially in Toronto and other places. So I think leveraging that is definitely a big opportunity that we have. I would say both a challenge but an opportunity is the US market. So I think for us, we have customers all across North America, and we had US customers very early on as well. And while it's something that could be daunting to kind of get started when you're fresh to Canada and now you have to sell to another country that's right beside it, it could be a challenge. But I think once you're able to overcome that hurdle, and there's a lot of structure that allows startups to be able to facilitate that, I think it actually becomes a huge advantage as well and an opportunity. So I would probably think about it in those couple of ways in terms of the talent that we have in Canada, as well as a great support system with IRAP and Shred and other type of things that support businesses here, as well as the opportunity to expand to the US very early on. And again, this will be very different for many businesses. But for us, we are working with heavy duty industries, frontline workers that are dealing with these giant equipments and facilities in the real world every day. For us, it was actually just being in person, right? And I think it's more of an attitude and a value rather than a growth strategy per se. But going to visit customers, right? I was just in US visiting customers, just flew in back in Toronto now, visiting another customer this week. Just being out there in the customer's life together has been a big benefit for us in terms of building up the trust, but also we're there to learn. And I think that organically led to the growth that we were hoping for as well. All these functions you have to learn anyways. It's kind of what I thought about. And I think I actually benefited from being very naive about the industry because some of the things that we do is very hard. And we were very, very mission driven in being able to empower manufacturers with this technology. Perhaps if I had a business background, understood the sales and all these aspects, perhaps I wouldn't have started a business because there are challenges in being able to bring this kind of technology to these really mission critical heavy duty industries. So in terms of starting, actually, I think it benefited us. But in terms of actually transitioning this into a valuable business, I think a lot of that came from realization that first-hand experience is actually very, very valuable. So that's something that I think should give everyone hope that in terms of entrepreneurship, that ultimately being out there, let's say for sales, you're trying to sell to your customers for a week, for a month with your product, with your ideal customer profile, for let's say even a short amount of time is much more valuable in my view than several years in sales selling to another type of customer with another type of product with another type of value prop. That'll just allow you to learn much more faster within the thing that you really care about. And because it's your business, because it's your organization and the mission that you're on, you get to keep compounding that effect onward. So I think just trusting yourself that the first-hand experience is actually very valuable ultimately, I think, led to some of the success that we have today.